for Woo Lad. I might start calling him something else when I see what his Battle.net tag is. He hate me. All right.
They would have 2 tanks.
It would be nice in this map too.
Okay.
Yeah. Or
All right. So yeah, he hate me. That's what we're gonna go with. So he's playing Lucio.
Might have a Pharah, so Widow would be good to counter.
We don't have anything else.
This is a pretty short video, so we'll see how this goes.
Actually, I think this is actually a really good song.
Yeah, well, yeah,
Okay.
because you and Anna are the
All right, you're a little bit behind the party right here, so I guess you're getting the people at the back of the pack to do your speed boost. The very beginning of these King of the Hill maps is a good time to use your shift to boost. I guess you've got different keybinds, but your amp up basically to speed everybody up, get your team to the point or wherever they want to be faster at the beginning of the game. Generally, what you see. I totally understand though if you're saving it for a big heal when you need it. Yeah, so you're switching to heals there. The nice thing about Lucio is that you can be shooting at things and it doesn't interrupt your healing. You don't have to go too far forward to do that. If you let's see, if back here. It goes back here. Now you're over here on the left. If instead you go to the right, where you can sort of overlook the point, and you just use your gun at range.
No, I missed the
you don't have to go up so close to people. You don't have to really get in their faces to get decent damage on them. Yeah, it looks like your diva's overextending. Your team's sort of falling apart here now. So yeah, now's a good time to use the amp up to get your Reinhardt back in there. Yeah, there you go, just like that. Yeah, and if you go right on this side, you can see the other side over here. This is a very high traffic area right here. This is mostly where people come in and out of the point. So hitting that with your range is usually good because this weapon doesn't have any fall off. And let's see, it looks like your Reinhardt, or sorry, your Genji is the one that needs healing right now. So yeah, it looks like the enemy took the point. This is a good time. You're sort of by yourself in the middle. Some of your team's down. This is a good time to back up off of it, and because you don't have any allies really with you, like in front of you, so you're gonna get focused down, and just being on there contesting it by yourself won't really do anything. So yeah, it would have been better to just fall back and maybe heal up some people so that you could all be there together.
We need a better comp. I don't think Genji's a good pick.
No, I can play.
Let's see. Okay, you had the Pharah sitting right there. She was sort of hovering in one place, so it might have been okay to shoot at her. Did you get any shots off at her? Oh yeah, you tried, but you had the Junkrat grenades and the Pharah both coming at you. Your Reinhardt's kind of charging in ahead of everybody, so your best defense is going to be to use the cover present on the map. So like using the pillars, using the walls and everything to break line of sight with the enemies, while trying to stay within line of sight of your team. I can't tell if you have another healer on your team. Oh, you have an Ana. Okay. Yeah, your team's just sort of trickling in, diving in on their own. Your Reinhardt's been just charging in and not really shielding anybody. Yeah, so yeah, the visual cover is gonna be big for you.
Maybe the fate can just change.
Oh yeah, and the Junkrat's kind of pushing back there. That's gonna be up to your guys to take care of. Now you want to switch to heals and hit that boost up for the Reinhardt. And kind of use your boop to keep people away from anybody that's ranged like that. Yeah. Yeah, and yeah, good. Yeah, you want to get to where you're healing as many people as possible. You want to. Lucio is a very needs of the many over the needs of the few type thing. So you're not able to do a whole lot of individual heals, but if you're in a group, that'll increase the amount of healing that your team's receiving. So yeah, that was good when you had one person that was up in front that was critical. you sort of stayed with your team until it was clear for you to move forward and actually put some heals onto them. So that was good. You don't want to go too far behind the lines, as Lucio.
What?
Oh man, your team just got wiped out right there. Let me see that again. See what could have been done differently.
Where's my fucking backup?
That's it. You got the Rhine boosted up. Get the D.Va ult. Yeah, that took out both their tanks and everything. So yeah, now's the time to just heal up with everybody. Yeah, you capped the point. And yeah, and you did want to take out that Mercy, but I don't know how the Pharah got in that close without anybody seeing her.
Don't get off point or you guys are gonna get screwed over.
Alright, so you got your, hang on, you might have left a bit early right there, because you had a bunch of people on your team that just respawned at the same time as you did. Let's see, like right here, you can see you got 3 people, and what would have been good is to wait in the spawn for them to be within your speed boost range, because they might have fallen way behind when you boost just yourself up there. So being aware of who is about to respawn, you can, whenever you respawn, you can see the circles of them. When they disappear, you know that they've just spawned. And as Lucio, you're a big resource for getting people back into the fight sooner. So sort of waiting here and getting all 3 of them back into the fight together would have been really helpful.
If anything, Genji, would you be able to switch to Soldier 76 to counter Pharah out?
And also, when you're trying to go fast, you did it a little bit at the start here, but when you ride on a wall, let's see, you did it right there. Yeah, that really, it boosts up your speed a lot. So just doing it on like one of those pillars, doing it on this doorway, doing it on the wall here, that'll get you back in the fight a lot faster as well. Looks like you guys have held the point though. You haven't taken any additional losses. That Reinhardt's up in the fight though, so he's not going to be able to help you a whole lot. And yeah, the healing boost might have been helpful earlier. When you're getting chased down by Winston, you do want to hit keep the heals up. All right, I don't know how many people you got with that, but it looks like you got a few. It's kept you guys in the fight here. That's good. Now you want to just stay in the middle of your team, keep those heals on them, and just keep the gun going constantly. You're kind of shooting up at the Mercy. Which, I mean, while Mercy is a good target to take down, especially when she's ulting, it's very hard to take down an ulting Mercy. So it's better to just focus on the rest of the team, and just ignore the Mercy unless you have like a damage ult, like a Soldier or McCree. So that's gonna be the better way to go about dealing with an ulting Mercy, is just to ignore her, try to focus down other enemies, others that are more squishy, and healing up your own team in that time. And yeah, with this amount of fighting going on, you want to be in range of like that Pharah. When she's critical. D.Va, you want to boop that Reinhardt if he ever gets too close to people.
Oh, I killed myself. Okay, jump.
Yeah, and your boop also does some damage. So if Reinhardt's ever in your face, you can just boop him back and away from you and keep the distance that way. Now Pharah's going to be hard to hit. Best thing you can do is avoid her. Yeah, use that line of sight in there, and then when she switches targets, you go for someone else. Pharah's really going to be the job of D.Va or Ana on this with this comp here, because D.Va can just boost up into her face and use her guns. Ana's got, of course, the hit scan scope.
DPS is really after.
Yeah, but you guys you're doing a good job of doing your job, which is the healing and focusing on that. So Reinhardt's going to need those heals. Oh man. And when you hear someone ulting, ignore Pharah if there are other targets. Pharah shouldn't really be your job. Nobody, like, if there's a Pharah on the enemy team, you never hear anyone say switch to Lucio to counter Pharah. Really, there are specific heroes that are specifically for dealing with Pharah, and you do have some of those on your team. Now, if Pharah is the only one threatening you, let's say there's like a Reinhardt with a shield up, you're not going to be able to damage anybody that's behind that shield. But if there's also a Pharah above them, that's an open target. I'd say take a couple shots at her, because you're not going to be able to do very much otherwise. So there are circumstances in which it's good to shoot at Pharah, but in most cases with Lucio, you want to go for the lower longer range targets that you're going to be able to get hits on. And when you hear an enemy ulting, like when you hear a Pharah ult, or especially if you hear like a D.Va or a Mei ult go out, you can switch to your speed boost to allow people to get away from it easier.
I hate Pharah.
It looks like she didn't get as much capitalization on that. Like, but right there was a good time to go after Pharah. You weren't able to get any hits or anything, but there was no other valid targets. You had the Reinhardt shield there. Let's see, can low silver get feedback somewhere? Yeah, I'll do feedback for silvers as well. That I do. I aim for bronze because I feel like they're the ones that need the most help. But I'll also do silvers as well, Moby. Oh yeah, yeah. Their Reinhardt just used that ult without any follow up ready. So that was a good time to just get in there and put the heals out for everybody. Yeah, your Reinhardt needed it.
Get the riptire.
Yeah, now you can focus on the. Yeah, if that Junkrat didn't blow it up right there, then he was a good still target for you to just nail, and that would have been good. Might have been good to keep some distance from him because he wasn't going anywhere. Yeah, now your Genji needs to stay on that point. So yeah, now you get your tanks back in there using your boost. Since you're behind them, you can use the wall ride to speed up right here.
Regroup, guys.
Yeah, since they've capped it at this point, you want to get your entire team in there for one more push. You don't want to... Okay, your D.Va's dove in, so now would be a good time to hit the... I was going to say, when your D.Va dove, that was the tank initiating the fight. That's what the tanks do, is when they charge in, that should be the team's signal to follow up. So when the tank charges in, usually a good time to hit your ultimate, because that's them signaling the fight is starting. So, yeah, good boop.
Wow, they're fair.
I think you got yourself and you got your Reinhardt. Nice thing about Lucio is your boop has really short cooldown, so you really want to be using that if you're in somebody's face, because your weapon's going to have longer range than anybody that's going to be close enough for you to boop. So may as well boop anytime you have it. It does damage. It knocks back. It puts people in positions that they're not trying to be in. So yeah, Pharah is your only valid target right now. So yes, that's an okay priority right there.
Hit the Pharah with my hammer.
Yeah, very nice. Good job.
Damn, that Pharah was so fucking annoying, dude. Jesus.
Yeah, Pharah can be really annoying when you don't have a hit scan on your team like Soldier or McCree. It's sort of secondary for D.Va or Ana to be there to take care of her. Moby, I've got people scheduled for tonight. It works on a schedule. I am pretty open for tomorrow though, so you can send me a private message with a video to review, and I'll go ahead and put that in the list. I'll get in touch with you for that. So, HeHateMe, do you have a second video? I think you said you had two. You can link me the other one, and I'll go ahead and queue that up. And maybe actually better thing to do maybe would be to email me your link so that I can refer back to it. I'll post my I'll whisper you my email real quick. Go. Okay. All right. So let me get the second one queued up. Okay. All right. So it looks like it's gonna be more Lucio. Re-uploading the third. All right. Let's see how long that takes. Second round, you used Symmetra for the first time, so it probably doesn't need Ravine. So, Symmetra is a character I actually really like. I play Symmetra a lot, so I can probably give much better feedback than I can with Lucio. So yeah, I'll review that part too. Might not put as much focus into it, but I'll review it. This Reaper's going crazy here. Like, gosh. Okay. And Moby, yeah, send me videos of like characters that you want to improve with, that you want reviews for. Yeah, it's a good job waiting for your team, letting them go in front of you. You've got an offense bastion, which I'm not. I don't know how much I like that, just because of the because bastion doesn't really work very well on point capture. He's good once you have the payload. You can get that bastion cheese comp going. Okay, so I'd say it would have been good to switch to heals right there, just because from up here you can see that your Rhine and your bastion are both yellow. You may as well get some heals in there. That builds your ult. And even when you're when your team's not engaging, it's still good for you to poke at range as Lucio, even if you can't really see a target, or even if it's just the Rhine shield that you were presented with earlier. Right here, like even though there's no targets you can actually do damage to, doing some poke onto that Rhine shield would be doing something at least. You want to sort of stick near that that bastion, just so that you can get those heals, because the enemy's going to be targeting him pretty significantly. Yeah, sticking with the bastion and Reinhardt, it'll get you that ult charge. Okay, so Mercy's on him. Mercy's probably about to try to res your Rhine. Ow. Okay, so they've got a Torb turret, and you were kind of overextended right here. No, shooting like that does not build up their ult. Ult in like the very early days of Overwatch, Ultimate did get charged by taking damage, but the only way to build ult charge is by healing and by doing damage. So if you do damage to the enemies, you might be building their healer ult when they heal it back up, but you're also building your own ult. So I'd say that's a fair trade, because you guys are the ones on offense. You guys are the ones that are going to be pressured to initiate. So you want to have those ults. And looking at their team, Symmetra's not going to get any ult charge from that. And I don't know who their other healer is. And yeah, your team's kind of falling apart. You've lost this team fight. It'd be good for your team to fall back right now. But shooting a tank's shield does nothing for anybody, or sorry, for them. It doesn't do anything for them. It doesn't gain you any ult charge, but it does just take that number that they have on their shield and reduces it a little bit. So if your whole team is doing that poke at the shield, it's going to wear it down, or it's going to cause them to have to drop the shield to recharge it at some point. It's little, but it's contribution. Moby, welcome to the stream. Thank you for following. Thank you very much for that. All right. Yeah, get the bastion in there. Looks like looks like your team's doing sort of a split thing. Your Reaper was going through the bottom area, and your Reinhardt's going through the front here. Yeah, and I don't think Roadhog actually gains ult charge by healing himself, so he's perfectly all right to shoot at. He's a good ult generator. Now, because you don't have line of sight to your Reinhardt here, you've got this thing blocking him. You've got the yellow hologram that you can see. You're not giving him any heals. Lucio operates on line of sight. You have to be able to see your target. You have to be able to draw a line from you to them without going through any other objects in order to get the heals on them. So if you see that yellow hologram, it means you know what their status is, but you're not giving them any heals. So peek out just a little bit so you can see him and get those heals rolling on him. And yeah, Roadhog is just an ult factory. He is great for building ult charge, because you can just keep hitting him. He can keep healing it back up and everything, but he's not getting any ult charge for healing himself, as far as I'm aware, at least. I don't think he does. I don't play I don't play Roadhog very much, so I wouldn't know. Okay, and you want to get up really close to your team. Okay, now you want to boop the Reinhardt away so he doesn't get those guys. Stay out of sight from those Symmetra turrets. Good job of keeping the Rhine off your bastion. Okay. And while the Torb turret is a good good thought, you'd be better served getting in there and keeping your team healed so that they don't get taken down by it. Let the damage take care of the Torb turret, especially when you've got teammates that are taking damage and need that help. I mean, yeah, the Torb turret will keep shooting at a target until they are dead or lose line of sight, but that'll happen eventually, and you're only at 61 health, so you can only take a couple hits from this Torb turret when it decides to switch to you. You didn't really have much opportunity to move away. So yeah, now they're Roadhog's ulting. They're all over the point. You guys are not going to be able to take it right there, so good to regroup, refocus. But yeah, when you're trying to get back quickly, just doing little tiny wall jumps on small things, just little tiny bit of wall ride, it'll increase your speed for a little ways and really get you back in the action faster. Your Reinhardt's charging in by himself. Not a whole lot you can really do for that. He's just going to get melted. Yeah, so I think the best bet's going to be to stick with your DPS right here. And now you get your ult almost ready. When you get to it's going to be like the final team fight, basically. If your team gets wiped out one more time, you're not going to have time for another team fight. And that's what Overwatch is, like, competitive is really all about, is just one team fight after another, rather than like just getting one or two picks when you can and moving in on that. It goes just from team fight to team fight. So if you watch the higher tier competitive play, you see them doing one team fight at a time. The rest of the time is spent regrouping, taking long range shots, trying to get picks to make the next team fight easier. And you're going with your Reaper. Now Reaper's a flanker. And he also has a way of healing himself. Whenever he does damage to a hero, he will heal a third of the damage that he deals. So when he's fighting a tank, he can keep himself in the fight a good long time. You'd be better served being with the rest of your team on the main push, because, like I said, when you're Lucio, think needs of the many. Think about the greater part of your team, the majority of the people, where you can get the most heals. And where you can get the most heals with the most people, because you're an area range healer. So let's see how this goes. Yeah. You can get your Reaper in there, but now he's like, okay, I don't know why you're with me. But I mean, I guess you're getting him into position faster. You guys took out their Symmetra. You used up the Mercy Res. See, now your guys are starting to push in. So I'd say get up. I would say the best thing to do would be to get over to this corner here, so that you can see your teammates that are down the road right there, and you still have teammates over here, and just hitting your ult so you give almost everybody a shield. It's just like your heals. You need to have line of sight to people. It's not just anybody that can hear you. You actually have to be able to see them in order to give them a shield. Yeah, when you're in there, I don't know that you got many people. Yeah, you got the Reinhardt and the Reaper, but your other teammates that are down there are gonna. Oh man. Okay, so yeah, your other teammates that were down there were gonna continually be taken out. So the Symmetra got them. When dealing with these Symmetra turrets, they have a short range, and you have a very long range. So to deal with them, best thing is to just hit them at range. Use your range, because they're not shooting at you right now. They can't even reach you. You can just stay right here and just take a couple shots at them and wipe them out. But yeah, when you move in close like that, you give Symmetra charge. I don't know that you get ult charge from healing yourself. Yeah. So the enemy just got a teleporter, so they're going to be coming back in. Yeah, that's going to make it hard for your team to take the point. You did get the first tick of the point though, so that's good. It means it's not going to be a draw, but you guys are going to be pretty hard pressed to hold it on the defense. At this point, you guys are not going to be able to get in there fast enough to contest it, unless Bastion can get on there right now. Okay, yeah, and then Mercy needs to get a res. You need to switch to heals. Yeah. Yeah, when you got the Torbjorn turret that's tracking, not a whole lot you can do except just break line of sight. You can heal through it a little ways, but yeah, Lucio's main role is going to be with the bulk of the team. in line of sight of as many people as you can, and you want to be close to them too. Just seeing them is not enough. You actually have to be close. Okay. This guy's calling for Torb Symmetra, which is, I mean, good on defense. If you've got a Mercy, Torb, Symmetra, and then some barrier tanks, yeah, that's yeah. People don't really know how to oppose that. So if they're behind you but in the circle, they do get healed. You don't. Sorry. Okay. So when I say line of sight, that means if you were to look in their direction, you could see them. That means you have a line to them. It doesn't mean you're looking at them. It's just like line of sight is just referred to if you were looking in their direction, you could see them. So yeah, if they're in the circle and you can draw a line from you to them without anything in between, then they are getting healed. You don't have to be looking at them. But yeah, if they're behind you and behind an obstacle though, then no, they're not getting heals. If that makes sense, that yeah, you don't have to be looking at them. You'd have to be able to see them if you were looking in their direction. But yeah, being in the middle of the team, just where you have, yeah, no obstruction between you and them, then they'll get healed. You do have the circle on the ground that'll indicate the range of that heal. Okay, this is where you want Symmetra. All right, and Symmetra is a good choice on defense here. This Symmetra is my choice of character for this map on defense, just because there's so many good places to put the turrets. Since it's your first time playing Symmetra, we'll yeah okay. So you're even looking at the guide. Oh, you're running the wrong way. There you go. All right.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
If everyone performs their function, victory is
All right.
assured.
And you could have taken a couple notes from the last match. See where the other Symmetra put her turrets. Just gonna keep them at their spawn. Okay, so this guy on your team says keep them at their spawn. Not really a good idea, because if you are all the way up at their spawn, and let's say like you get a kill, they get a kill, they're gonna respawn right there. Whereas you got whoever they kill on your team has to walk all the way back here. That's what we call the spawn advantage. When you're defending the point back up here, it's about an equal walk from their point. Or from their spawn and from your spawn to get to the point. So that eliminates the spawn advantage, really reduces it. Yeah. And that's not a bad spot for the turrets right there. If they were to walk up and just go straight to the point, yeah, those turrets would lock onto them. Good places for turrets are on opposite walls from where the enemy is going to be going. So on the friendly side of doorways, for example. There are a lot of really good spots on the lower and upper approaches on the right here, because the doorways are shorter than the walls. Yeah, and yeah, those would be good spots if they were coming from inside these doors here, because those turrets would get them right on the outside there. So Symmetra has two firing modes with her weapon. You've got the left click, which is a short-range beam that will lock on to somebody. And if you have them in your vision range, in your cone of vision, then that beam will just keep hitting them. And the longer it hits them, the more powerful it gets. That's what we call the microwave. And it can get pretty insane if the enemy team is not focusing you down. The right-click is a charge up. It charges up a ball, and then when you let go, it fires it. And that's good to use in long hallways to keep enemies at bay. Now you've got 6 turrets right now already dropped, so every turret you're putting down now is going to be removing a turret. And right there, you got a glimpse of a really good spot to put turrets right here. Okay, so there's a doorway just like this on the upper area, the upstairs section. And if you follow this hallway here, there's 2 more doors like this. Like there's one right here, one over there, and you can put turrets up here. So when people walk through those doorways, they have those turrets above them. That's a really good spot to put them. That also gives you a warning of which direction the enemies are going. But yeah, you can only have 6 turrets at a time. So every turret that you're putting down after 6 is removing some. Yeah. Yeah, and you got the projected shield as well, which is good to use in long corridors to prevent people from shooting down at you. Yeah.
There is still much to be done.
Yeah, best thing to do with Symmetra in the early game is to try to stay alive. Use your right click from range to keep the to build your ult charge slowly. And yeah, there you see the beam. If you keep that locked onto her, it just gets more and more powerful. But you're kind of having to trickle in order to prevent them from capping the point. Your Hanzo really should just get on the point there, just to contest it. But yeah, that wasn't really gonna go very well. Now, when one thing about your swap to Symmetra there, you said you've never played Symmetra before, so it's understandable that you would not perform exceptionally well with her. But what the advice, the main advice is as far as your hero spread is pick a handful of heroes, maybe a tank or two, DPS or two, healer or two, and just sort of stick with those heroes. Those will be the heroes that you are good at and that you can play. So you can fill pretty much any role if you have like 2 of each, let's say. And so you could fill any comp that way. If somebody says that you need a certain hero for a comp that they're trying to run, it's better for you to not run that hero and stick with one that you're good at than it is to switch to a hero that would help the comp that you don't know how it works. So by switching to Symmetra, you might have done what the person wanted. It looks good on paper, but if you haven't practiced Symmetra at all, if you don't know how she works, you're not going to really be able to play her with that comp the way that she's supposed to. So it's better to stick with the heroes that you're good at. Choose a small variety of them, but if you can't play Symmetra well, let that guy know. Like, I've never played Symmetra. I don't know how she works. And just play something that you know does work, something you are proficient with. So that's it for